Good evening. Welcome to Health is Wealth. Welcome to the Chicago chapter of the National Black Nurses television show that we bring you once a month. We're very delighted to do that and bring you information, get feedback from you. That's part of the bargain too. And get information from people like the guest sitting next to me tonight. And I'm so happy to have her here. She's been here before, and she still has work yet to do in terms of educating the public, in terms of working with the public, and all of the goals that Rev Doris Green, has for you and for us. So without further ado, because time is urgent,
Yes.
I'm going to introduce my guest. Her name is Rev Doris Green of Men and Women in Prison Ministries. Reverend Green is an advocate for people and families impacted by the prison system. When she's not doing that, she is an author, and that is something that I have determined that I am going to do.
Oh.
I am going to write a book.
Oh, that would be fabulous.
It's what you do and what I want to do is what people need
Yes.
out here in the world. Because there's so much information that's not information. So much information that is skipped over in favor of things that really, for a lot of us, don't impact our daily lives.
Right.
And this is what we need. So I'm not even going to talk a lot. I'm going to tell you about her. She's an advocate for people and families impacted by the prison system. When she's not doing that, as I said, she's an author. So, Reverend Green,
Yes.
I'm going to scoot back in this chair, and I'm going to ask you to tell me and our audience a little bit about Men and Women in Prison Ministry.
Well, okay, the organization started I'd say about 30 years ago, to be honest, and our work is around health care for those that are formerly incarcerated and people that are incarcerated. We do what we call economic empowerment. We do a program called Identification Restoration Program, where we help people that coming out of prison and don't have the IDs restored. They really need the IDs because people can actually get re-locked up if they don't have them IDs. So we do a program there. We do a family support group where we work with people doing support around what do you do when you come out, and how some of the challenges the families go through when they loved one first come out. So we have a family support group once a month. We have what's called the Harm Reduction Prison Coalition. There we do a lot of advocacy work around health care for those incarcerated, because our belief is good prison health is good community health. If people are given the right standard of health care inside, they come out and can live longer.
Ooh, you're making me tired. That's what I like. When I have a guest and they're doing so much out here in the community, and it's all, I know that their mind and their heart is with our people and people in general. I love it. So I'm going to ask you now you named some of the programs before, and now I want to know, because I know why I do what I do and what my co-nurse, Miss Janice Henry does, and why we do it. And so I always ask people who have a passion like you, what happened? Why are you doing it? Why are you so passionate?
Well, other than my blessing, which was my husband was incarcerated for 29 years, and he died in 2011 in prison. Other than that, which was a blessing to me from God, I had a passion to do this work for 37 years. It was the mission God had called me to. God had spoke to me about going inside and being part of finding out what was going on the inside of the prison. So that's why I do what I do. It's a gift. It's a gift from God. It truly is.
It is. And I'm always happy because there are people like you, me, Janice Henry, the Chicago chapter of the National Black Nurses, and other organizations such as the group that had a program before we came in. And I'm always interacting. I love that because from you I can get some ideas of something I haven't thought about, and from me and the nurses you can do the same thing.
Absolutely.
And we can share knowledge, and sometimes we may have to share manpower, woman power,
Amen.
and do this thing together to get the message out. So I'm really happy. So now you have a program the West Side ID program. Is that
Yes.
true?
Yes.
Okay, so can you tell the audience a little bit about that and
Okay.
where it's located? And family, if you're looking and listening, first of all, thank you for having me back. I'm struggling to make my way back into the show on a regular basis, and with the help of people like Reverend Green, it's making it easier for me to transition back into this program and this station. And I've missed you, and I love you, and I'll be here. So now I can steal some of your ideas.
Well,
and you're going to tell us.
What we found, the office that we have now is on 35th and State Street. And we've been there like 9 years. It's on the south side.
What's
in the
there?
IIT building.
Oh,
right, that
okay,
big building. We've been
okay.
there on the 9th floor. And the last couple of years, we noticed that a lot of our clients that were coming out of prison was transitioning from the west side, coming to the south side to get their IDs. So we decided to try to expand our services to the west side, because I know there was an organization doing the IDs, but they're no longer there. Reverend Crawford, which is a mentor of mine, he no longer has his ID restoration program. He's the one trained my staff how to do this work. So I gave him a call and asked him, would he bless me to do the work on the west side? And he did. He said, yes, if you can get the staff and come over, you'll be welcome to the west side to do IDs. So we started last month, and we are
only a month ago?
Only a month ago, but
okay.
because we've been doing this work for so long, we know what to do.
Okay.
It was just a matter of finding a location. So we'll be at Sankofa Culture Center. That's at 5820 West Chicago Avenue.
Okay.
And we'll be there every second and third Friday. And if anyone in the community that's on the Austin area and you've been released from prison within a year, they said if it's over a year, it's kind of hard for us because we're funded to work with people that's been out less than a year.
Okay.
But you show up if you don't have an ID, we're going to make sure it happens. But
well, word travels too.
Oh yeah,
very fast.
If you need that identification, you need to be able to get your birth certificate. Some people don't even have Social Security cards, and we can help them with that. And some people live out of state and were born in other states. We are finding out that we have to do a mailing to other states. We have mailed to Mississippi to get people birth certificates so they can get their Social Security card in order to get their state identification. So we do that work. I consider my staff as experts. They know how to make this happen. So again, if you on the west side, over in that Austin area, around 5820 West Chicago, you're welcome to join us every second and third Friday from 10 to 2 p.m. Now, I decided to start because we're still looking for funding for this program, but my staff is so committed to making sure this service is there, so they are able to give up Fridays, the second and third Friday of each month, to do this work.
You're making the assumption that people are up at 10 a.m. And I know that you know it. It's not an assumption. I just said that because if you didn't have people who got up then, you'd have different hours.
Yeah.
But family, if you're listening and you're watching this program, there is a telephone number that you can call at any time and ask Reverend Green any questions that you may have, on the condition I'm going to put there that you pass it on.
Yes.
You get this from her, whatever it is, and then you pass it on, because that's what we're committed to doing.
Right.
Whatever I know, I'm going to always pass it on.
Well, I'll give you the office number because you can call the office. It's 312-328-9610. That's 312-328-9610. And you can ask for Mr. Jackson. He's pretty much there from 9 to 5 days a week. He's there all day. So call him and let him know that you're interested in coming, and if you want to come to the south side location, you can make an appointment with him. But for the west side location, you can just walk in, and it's 2 days a month, and you can get your ID restored.
How long have you been there?
We've been at the IIT building for about 9 years now.
But for this program?
For this program, we only
Right.
been there 1 month.
1 month, okay. Because I'm thinking, how will they know that you're there? That's
Well-
why I'm glad you're here today, because
Well-
that's part of the reason you're here.
What we've done, we have 3 outreach workers at our agency, and they've been going out in the community passing out flyers. I do programs like this.
Okay.
Every place I go to WARP meetings, and I share flyers and pamphlets about what it is that we're doing. Right now, the first month, we only had 1 person that showed up. To me, that was success, because we didn't have no one getting any service.
One more, because each one tells somebody.
And I'm sure that once the word get out,
Right.
they know that we're there. That the people will come.
I remember the alderman, and I can't think of her name, but she used to be up there, I think, on 93rd and State or somewhere up there by the Dan Ryan, and she used to have the thing where they would erase your prison record.
Expungement,
the expungement
programs.
program.
Yeah,
Right.
they still have
and
that.
They still have it?
They still have expungement programs, yes.
Okay, so you guys, with you all have the same purpose, but yet you have different ways of meeting that.
Right.
So you keep in contact with each other?
Absolutely.
All right, I love that. Okay, you have another program, the West Side ID program. Is
That's
the
it. That's
same,
the West
or
Side
it's all the
Restoration
same?
Program.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And so, what else are you
Okay,
into?
we have a computer lab at our location
Ooh,
on
I
the
need
south
to be
side,
there.
which is 3 computers there, but it's for our clients when they come in and need to try to identify housing. We have case management there. We do HIV and Hep C screening.
Ooh.
We have a phlebotomist there. She does draw blood, and so we actually have what we call our health and wellness part of our organization. It's our organization now is broke up into 3 departments. It's the health and wellness programs, and then we have socioeconomic recovery, and then the advocacy work, which is the harm reduction prison coalition. So we've grown to all of these different programs, but all the programs have services, because we believe that if we have the services for the people, that the services that the people need, that they will show up.
All right. Well, family, since you haven't called in and called to ask the question, I'm going to ask it. Is there a fee for them?
No, it's
There-
absolutely no fee.
Did you hear that?
No fee.
Say
We
that
we have
again.
been blessed to be able to get funding from the state. We are actually now working with funding from the city. We're going to be doing an overdose prevention program on the west side in the same area, the Austin area.
Is that when you say overdose, do you mean by suicide or accidental?
No,
Okay.
it's the opiates.
Oh.
Yeah, overdose of drugs. So we're going to be doing a prevention program to try to save people's lives. People don't have to die from overdoses nowadays. They can actually be saved.
Can I ask you if you've had a lot of people who you've had to work with in that particular area, the overdose, the opium program?
No, we're starting new with this program. We work with Chicago Recovery Alliance, which this is an organization. It is their life gift is to do this type of work. So I've sat with people that have actually did overdose, bringing people's life back. I've actually sat with people like that, and I am so inspired, because I feel like if God give us the gift to do this, we need to help people. It's more than just saying stop using drugs, just like I said, tell people stop having sex or stop. It's more than that. If people are sick, and a lot of people are, and they are overdosing, and they are not using condoms when they should, we need to be able to prevent deaths. In Austin, that community, we did a little research, and Austin is in the top 10 of overdose deaths. So there's a lot of people in our community that has not been privy to the medication to restore their life, because we can actually,
You know, as a nurse, when I started to find out about the opioid problem that we have,
Yes.
I thought back to, and of course I'm dating myself for how long I've been a nurse,
Okay.
but I remember when I used to work in the doctor's office, and the drug salesman would always come by and bring their little wares, and they would stock the cabinets with all of the samples for the doctor to give to the patient.
Yes.
Then the patient would come in and, I've got this, I've got that, and can you give me something for it? And the doctor would hand them the sample packet of this or that, and just a little bit about opioid, because this is, right now, is the first time that I've really seen a lot of details about opioid.
Yes.
It has been a very well hidden problem. I did have a little problem with the fact that they put that on the ballot, whether or not we would support the opioid crisis. And our president has allocated all kinds of funds to take care of the opioid program.
Okay.
And so I think, as I look at this, a lot of it is occurring downstate Illinois rather than here in Chicago. We have it too, yes.
Yes, I'm here to
there's a
tell
lot,
you
yes,
that we're going to be
downstate.
doing some work in
Wonderful.
Chicago area, especially in that Austin community, because
Wonderful.
you know, why is it in some places and it's not in our community? So I was saying the same thing you were saying, but now I can't say it anymore. But the responsibility now, I'm going to have to get people trained on how to do it.
Yes.
See, it's more than a notion. You can't just talk about what's not happening. You got to get busy and do the work to make it happen.
Yes, you do, but people just don't. They don't really know, I think, and I'm looking at the clock because I make sure someone calls in and asks some questions because this opioid thing is really big. We see it more now than we ever did before.
Yes.
And the other thing that's going on that I don't know if you guys are aware of is the Narcan, which is the overdose. What do you call it? Something that's going to help them. It actually is supposed to bring them back around.
That's exactly what
we're... If you catch them before they die.
Right.
Yes, you can.
That's exactly the medication that we're going to be using.
And so people, they don't know.
So you're very familiar with it, so that's good.
Oh, I've been following it.
Okay.
I have been really following it because I realized when and what caught my eye was when our president was talking about opioid, and I'm like, what is opioid? I had not, I had not heard that. And then so I started doing my research.
Right.
And then I started seeing it on different channels, and I realized it was an epidemic. Then I thought about the Narcan. So my point is that we haven't seen a lot about how long ago this started.
No.
And who started it, and I know that a lot of it, I remember, we used to give out those drugs for samples, so you're going to get hooked on something that you can get freely. You're hurting, you're in pain, you go see the doctor and they give you this free medicine. I'm old enough to remember that. And so what you don't know and what he doesn't tell you, or she, that you can get hooked. You can become an addict or a slave to the opioid drugs that they have. Opioid drugs, by the way, they're really normal, not household drugs, but easily obtainable because they've never been thought to be harmful.
Right.
And so this is how they've gained
and
the
people
foothold.
are becoming addicted
Yes,
to it.
and the doctor does not tell them that if you take that Demerol or whatever other candy that they give you, whatever the good stuff is to take the pain away. That was
you're
really
a nurse,
good.
so
yes, I'm out of my Demerol you gave me or whatever it was.
Yeah,
Can I have some more? And because it was samples and they were giving it away, of course I'm going to go back to get some more. Right. But that's how this epidemic got started, and I remember how I used to do that.
We will be doing some work on the west side of Chicago, and I'm excited about it.
I am so happy. Give us a call if you have any questions about the program that Rev Doris Green, the Men and Women in Prison Ministries. She's an advocate. She's here for you. They're almost out of the Narcan, in case you know what it is and you've been doing the Narcan thing or someone has given it to you. Be aware that there is already becoming a shortage of the Narcan. The Narcan has been used to reverse, actually I could say reverse death. Because what happens is that as you go toward death, you've taken your overdose, you're laying there, you're unconscious and you're about to check out any minute, and the fireman or whomever comes to save you, they inject you with the Narcan and it brings you back.
Right. And it's
like
been
a wonder
happening.
drug.
I mean, it's not new in some communities, but we need to make sure that if it's happening, we can make sure it happen in our community. But there's one other program I want to talk a little bit about. It's the Black Church and HIV. We call it the Social Justice Imperative. I'm excited about this. I've been an ambassador for NAACP and for Gilead Science. And we created these tools. There's two tools we have here. One is called the Pastor's Brief, and then the other one is the Activity Manual. Now, these are manuals that several black churches, organizations got together and created these manuals to help our pastors know more about how to start ministering work in their churches. So
you know what I'm going to do? Before you go further, because you and I can talk ad infinitum, I want you to give them phone numbers, contact information, because we can talk all the way to the end of the show, because that's what we do. We're passionate.
Okay, so I have several of these books now left at my home, I would love to give them out to the pastors, either the lay people in the churches. The number is 312.
Wait a minute, let's see. Oh, it's right here. Okay. Is it? Yes.
It's
yes.
on there.
Okay. And go ahead.
Okay,
read
there,
it on.
number is 312-328-9610. That's the office number. You can call there and you can ask for Reverend Green.
Okay.
Or you can reach me on my cell phone. That's 773-391-9085. If you want the books, the pastor's brief, or activity manuals, you can call me on my cell phone, 773-391-9085.
Repeat that again.
773-391-9085. That's my cell phone number.
Okay.
So you can call me there, and I'll be glad to make sure that you get these manuals. They can help you further and educate your parishioners about HIV and the imperative.
Well, I hope you brought one for me.
Oh, yes, I do.
Myself and the Black nurses, whatever you give us, whatever information, the results of this program or anything else that come along, we will certainly pass it to you. And I'm not sure, have you come to our meeting and educated us?
No, I haven't, but I'm sure Janice and you would be inviting me.
Set that up because you work
I
so
would love-
hard, but
yeah.
it's great when you can work through us because you have so much to do. So
That's
you
why I'm
come
here.
and you educate us. And then we'll take it from there. So I love that. Now, what else are you going to do here with this? The Black Church
I just
and
wanted
HIV? Yes.
to really
Let's
show
talk
the
about
people.
that before we go off the air.
Okay, so the Black Church and HIV is pastor's brief and activity manual on how to start HIV ministries through your churches. So if you're interested on how to do this, it's, let me put this up here.
See how we got to get
Okay,
that.
there
it
you go.
is.
Now that's the pastor's brief, and this is the activity manual.
Okay.
And it's information. Is everything in these books? Absolutely not. But it's enough in here for the average pastor or the over-average pastor can take a look at this brief and take a look at the work that we've done and bless us and let us know that we did a good job. And then can you use this in your church with your congregation, maybe your health department in your churches? Your ministry of help people would like to take a look at how they can get started doing HIV ministry in their churches, because our churches do need this type of information.
You know, I've almost forgotten about HIV. It has not been on the forefront. Because there's so many other things that are coming to try to move it out.
HIV is still
That's
happening.
right. Remind us.
New infections are still happening, so we can't. It's not going away. It's not. They trying to generalize. It's not. It still is transmitted, and it's still. We still need to.
Go to what?
You.
Oh, okay. The other thing is that. Yeah. The other thing is that how can we get some information on that? Where do we need to go? Do you have meetings or what? Tell us about that.
Oh, well, what you can do is give me a call at 773-391-9085, and I can tell you exactly where you can get these manuals free. These books are free.
All right. So I have my family. So now we're going to give some information out for you. And what else? Let's see. Free HIV and Hep C free. I'll put that down there so they can see that. Yes. Yes, I will. Okay. All right. Now, this is the men and women in prison. My tongue going. I'm so excited because we're going from subject to subject to subject, and we have such a short time. Give us that information because we'll be off the air in a minute. I want to give the Black nurses information, and then we'll be gone.
All right. Our number at the office is 312-328-9610, and my cell phone number is 773-391-9085. And you can reach us at Man and Women in Prison Ministries.
Great. And family, if you can't use this information, if you don't have these problems in your life and you don't know anyone who has them, pass it on.
Absolutely.
You're bound to come across someone who needs help. They need help with opioids. They need help with HIV and Hep C screening. They need help. And just like we're passing it on in this program, you can pass it on and may even do a better job than I could ever do. There's so much that we need to have done.
There's a scripture that reminds me of some of the work that we do. It says, our people perish for the lack of knowledge.
Yes.
I said perish no more because knowledge is here.
All right. I like that.
We get a lot of knowledge.
I like that. As we go off the air, I want to thank Miss Janice Henry. She is back there manning that phone of which you have not called us. But that's okay. I hope you wrote it down. And the only thing we can do is ask you to pass it on. Thank you so much for attending, for tuning us in tonight. You know what? I have been gone a long time, but I'm feeling better. And thank you for hanging around with me while we bring this information. And we look to have you back again.
Yes, I would love to come back in
From
June.
time to time, there are things, and we'll be looking for you so you can bring it on. In the meantime, all you have to do is just call those numbers that she gave you, and contact that. And then we're going to go off the air, and as I go off, I am going to give you some information, and I don't even know what I did with the sheet, but I'm going to give you Lutheran School of Theology. I am so sorry. Chicago Chapter, National Black Nurses Association. P.O. Box 4612. Phone number 773-792-7222. And I'm going off 773-792-7222. Second Saturday of the month from 4 to 6 p.m. 1100 East 55th Street. Thank you so much, and thanks for putting up with me. I'm going to get better and better all the time and be back with you in 1 month from today.